voice? What's going on with my voice today? I think I'm good to go here. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's better. So I'm playing playing with my mic settings this morning. Okay. And something weird just happened, but it's over now. All right, let's get right to everything. Going public today. See if anybody shows up. And yeah, interesting actions in the markets lately. We had our big sell-off, and we've stabilized since then for the past couple of days. We're getting pretty tight in BTC. I could draw a few trend lines here to kind of show that. Get rid of some stuff. Hey, what's up, Mexican Charlie Lee? QNT? Yeah, I think we can take a look at that. Having some voice issues today, so bear with me if I gotta deal with those for a little bit. Yeah, QNT Quantum, right? Yeah, I think that's the one that's supposed to be AI resistant or something like that. Yeah, okay. Let me add that to my list here real quick. UTNJ. QNT. Okay. NTRN. All right, cool. Take a look at that. All right, let's get to some BTC stuff. So yeah, market still in a general uptrend. In terms of our follow 3-day system, we have 2 distribution days. One falls off in 4 days, so that would leave us with 1 distribution day. So we're still in a good spot. When BTC dropped earlier in the week, here we came back down to the 50-day and the trend line, got supported pretty good, pretty much market-wide support for that drop, which is nice to see. We haven't seen too much go underneath of that. There's been a few that have kind of drifted lower and are living kind of in this wick area of the drop for its respective token, but nothing crazy. What up, Kumishan? Doing pretty good. It's getting cold here in Arizona. It's supposed to be cold today. Yeah, so sideways here is good. I like moving up and forming this right here. I guess we could try to move up. I mean, one of these trend lines is going to give relatively quickly, as you can see. So we'll just kind of see what's going on. What up, Blair? How you doing, bud? Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. Happy New Year, happy holidays. And forget all that. It's now 2024. Get on with business. No more happy anything anymore. Not for the next 11 and a half months. Or 10 and a half months, something like that. But yeah, so we're going to give up this tightness. Whether it's going to be explosive to the upside or not, nobody knows. But a lot of the coins are still kind of living lower, and I think if you take the market action as a whole, stability here is good, because after this drop right here, it just takes a while to get confidence back. This was the last big drop prior to that, December 11th. So this is January 3rd, December 11th. So 3 weeks prior to that drop, and we kind of lived in the range of that candle for a period of time for that almost that whole 3 weeks. So maybe we'll do something like that up here. Hard to say exactly, but doing pretty good. Holding support is good at the 40,138 level. I've already mentioned the 50-day and the trend line, and plenty of room to go sideways here. This trend line can be adjusted as well. It only has 1 anchor point, so it's not truly solidified yet. So it is adjustable, and we'll see what happens up there. Properties in AZ. AZ is pretty crazy too. Cities that aren't woke. Well, I don't know what to tell you about that, man. I don't know what to tell you about that. Arizona, though, depending on what your budget is, in reality, Arizona's a good spot all the way around. Really. Yeah, I don't put politics aside. Arizona's just a good place to live. It is getting pretty crowded here, though. I will say that property values, it's not super affordable here any longer. That's unfortunate. The average cost, I think, is about 400 to 450, um, something like that. Yeah, so 5 to 700, you're looking, well, yeah, you can almost go anywhere with that budget. Scottsdale, that'll be a little on the low end for Scottsdale, like the very low end. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but yeah, if you're interested, you can talk about it. I don't know if you're in Slack or not. You can hit me up in Slack or send me an email or something. Um, yeah, so I work in home automation industry as well, so I'm kind of familiar with housing stuff these days. Talk to a lot of people. Um, yeah, it's not like it used to be though. It used to be affordable. It's not affordable any longer. It's like mini California, which I knew was going to get there. Just happened really quickly with 2023. Liberal nut job. Well, I don't know your experience, man. I mean, I, I don't even know what that means. Are they knocking on your door? Are they at the grocery store yelling at you? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, no one's yelling at us over here. I mean, it's just a social media presence. I don't know. Yeah, but hit me up. We can talk if you really want to opinion on something. But anyway, so yeah, BTC getting tight right here. We'll see which way this goes. I mean, so we have had prior bull runs where things have kind of moved up rather dramatically in a really short period of time. After some crazy situations, you get some big drops, and then things move fairly fast. So here's kind of a crazy candle that's only goes a few days before you rally. So we get some moments in these bullish market environments where you get moves that seem like they could kill a rally. 2017 really stands out to me, but they don't. We had this one very late stage that came back very quickly, just as many days up as down. This day with a big down candle goes sideways for a little bit. So we're still really early in this drop, and I don't think that we're going to be. Doesn't look like we're going to be rocking, but we could. And go with the volume, go with the price action. That's really all you can do when it happens, um, regardless of whether you think it's too soon or not. But volume signatures on the daily time frame, they did get heavier the past several days. Past 2 days were darn near equal, and above average volume. So there's some turnover here. The lower time frame volume aggregation tool shows you that the sellers really aren't very prevalent. It's really been the buyers uh, as the aggressors here. So you have the bottom and you have a bunch of wicks to the downside, not so many to the top side. So if we do start to move up from here, if you want to take positions, you're going to have to find a manageable stop loss. And in this part, like when you go sideways, you fail higher, then you fail lower, and then you come back in. You never know how many attempts you're going to get before you finally break out. So, ooh, sorry, my throat just stopped working. It's like no more words, Randy. And get a house humidifier or something over here. Arizona's low humidity as it is, let alone add heat to it. All right, but yeah, so kind of lost my train of thought there. That was a little scary. Oh, throat just closed up. Um, so we are getting tight. You could expect to move, but yeah. So how many times are we going to go higher? So yeah, let's talk about stop losses. So if you're looking at stop losses, if you want to try to be aggressive with this, you pick any of these lows, and the more lows you give them, the less likely you are to get stopped at. Obviously, if you can give it all the way down to this recent spike low, that's going to be your best stop loss. It's also really close to that 40,000 level, but that's a full 7% that you'd have to give that, which is a little bit wide. But if you want to, hold for maybe the rest of the run, hopefully that'll work. It's a very high volume candle. It is a very big wick on the candle, and the day closes really well here too. So for all intents and purposes, that's really your best stop loss. But if you wanted to pick something that wasn't quite so drastic, you can go underneath these lows here. I'll probably give you like a 5%. Yeah, about a 4 and 3/4 to 5% stop loss right there. If you want to be tighter than that, you can do that too. But the tighter you get, obviously, the higher percentage of it coming and pulling back into that. But I still think you have to wait for the move up out of this, even though we are squeezing. I think you still, unless you want to make your stop loss just super tight and like right there, if you want to put it at the low of the day today, because almost every day, except for this day, has a low. So if you want to make it the low of the day today, I mean, you're really anticipating a move is what you're doing. So secondary signals here, you got 50 level on the RSI has been holding really nicely this whole time. And we're pretty close to that. We're not far away at all. So I would expect so that yeah, there's the low, but yeah, we get under the 50 on the RSI, you start changing behavior a little bit in the rally. And we did a look back a couple weeks ago, I think, about maybe it wasn't a big look back, but these supportive levels in the RSI, they can mean something during runs. I've noticed that they can be kind of used. And here you can see it starts to break down a little bit. Of course, there's no major support here, but it does kind of hold this level right there at about 42. Then it starts to give it up. You know what I mean? So that's a good way to use the RSI. I always think I'm starting to like kind of RSI support, RSI trend lines a little bit more. When RSI stuff tends to coincide with price action, it tends to be a good thing. Just kind of have to notice the tendencies. So yeah, so if you want to draw an RSI trend line here, I guess you can do that. There's a couple ways to do it. You got a longer term one here, which obviously is still in pretty bullish territory. Shorter term one here, which is more in line with the trend. So if something like this breaks out, which would coincide with this, probably the 44,595 break-in, which is my current alert level. If that breaks, that could be your next leg starter. Not sure if that's a divergence. Looks like it. Yeah, there's a no, it's a higher high and a higher high here. So no divergence, but higher highs between these 2 points, even with that sell-off. So pretty good. Yeah, so we could try to do something. Extending volume would be good here. Trend line right there, giving you cues maybe. Bitcoin ETF announcement kind of coincides with the end of the symmetrical triangle. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with that. We haven't been necessarily rallying into the news, so I don't know if it's buy the rumor or sell the news. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on. So, I just saw your comment, Mexican Charlie. It's bad. You can't even have a conversation with someone at a store without offending someone. Yeah, we don't do that here. We don't like have conversations with people. In Arizona. Yeah, I don't know if it works that way. But yeah, people here are pretty evenly spread, I think. Scottsdale is definitely going to be more conservative. I think the more east you go, the more conservative it's going to be. Um, yeah, there's other cities out there. You got you got Mesa, Chandler, Tempe is going to be pretty liberal. Chandler's going to be a good spot for you. Gilbert could be a good spot, but that may be a little bit low on the price range. So yeah, BTC is doing good. We'll see if we pop up here. We're pretty close to my alert, so I'm not going to throw another one. Um, that's also like this whole structure up there, so I'm not going to get rid of that. But yeah, so we'll see what happens this weekend. Could be a fake out. I mean, you never know. The whole market. We're going to go through the top 20 here in a second. Then we'll do the few alts that I found. We did do some damage on that drop though. A lot of things aren't coming back nearly as good as Bitcoin's looking. Although we do still have lower highs. So again, the squeeze, right? We're waiting to see directionally what is going to happen with this kind of squeeze. But like I said, starting out, it's a short squeeze. What I wanted to say earlier that I didn't quite get to is that usually when you start tightening action, it takes a few days of tight action for you to get going. It doesn't like tight, then boom, straight away. It's possible, but usually doesn't happen that way. Um, but, at the same time, this consolidation has been going on now for a full month. So even though the squeeze is short term, we'll see if it's but yeah, I mean, maybe we rally into the 10th going down to that because today's the 6th. We got, what's the 10th? Wednesday? Yeah. So I guess if we do pop if we do that, I mean, that could be definitely a sellable situation. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, but everyone already knows about it, which is why buy the rumor, sell the news works. Because when everyone knows about something and everyone's waiting, then they use that as a liquidity event. So if we get a rally here for the next couple of days, um, yeah, maybe definitely be sellable. I don't know about shortable. I'm not sure about that. We'll see what happens with the market, but definitely sellable if we get the pop. So look for that. We could try to do something here out of a little bit of symmetry, but yeah, another thing though is there's no real pattern. It's just some symmetry. It's just two coinciding trend lines that are coming to a point. There's no uptrend here. There's no downtrend here. There's nothing here. It's just sideways. So doesn't mean a whole lot. I just drew this trend, just deleted that trend line, but that one led to a little rally. So maybe this one will lead to a rally too. All right, let's get on with the rest of the things. Unless you guys have anything else with BTC. Get on to Ethereum, which is still working on its range above the 2137. So its tighter squeezy action is a little bit lower, right down here. Not quite as high as BTC's. The false ETF approval announcement on Twitter some weeks ago pumped BTC hard for a few minutes. Definitely wasn't a sell the news event at that time. Yeah, maybe that was probably algos scrolling Twitter and news feeds for stuff. It wasn't like the awaiting approval. I mean, I don't know. We'll see, Loopy. We'll see. The sell the news. Yeah, sell the news is interesting. I mean, obviously, nothing works 100% of the time. So, nothing does. But I mean, if there's some legit players waiting for the ETF approval before they buy in, yeah, that could bring in buyers for sure. It's just the only thing that we can't know is what people want next. And via technical analysis, we're looking for implications of what they've been doing to imply what they want to do. But in reality, obviously we know trading's a 50-50 thing at best, which is why money management is crucial. And because you can never know what exactly they want. The people with tons and tons of money that make these moves never tell us exactly what they want, especially after earnings announcements and news events and things like that. Like maybe everyone. I keep seeing articles about BlackRock buying. They've probably already been buying. They're not stupid. You know what I mean? They probably have funneled money to LLCs that aren't registered, and they're sitting on shit there, and then they'll move. You know what I mean? Like that. These people aren't idiots. It's not like they're waiting at the starting gate. They find ways around shit every day. That's I'm sure that's half of the company's job. Excuse me. But yeah, so Ethereum here, not as bullish as BTC, living a little bit lower. BTC's up here, pretty close to breakout levels, versus Ethereum is down here. Ethereum really hasn't gotten going much during this move, and so we just kind of have to wait for it to get to do something. It's got to show some more bullish tendencies before it's really going to be tradable. Next up is BNB. Oh yeah, Loopy, smash the like button. I keep forgetting to ask that. Yeah, smash the like button, everybody. Appreciate that. BTC. YouTube likes that. BTC doesn't care. Binance coin, yeah, 321.60 is the alert. Chopping through that. A good move out of here, although unfortunately rolling over in the past 24 hours. Not an ideal situation. BNB's been really tough. I mean, really the best thing, the alerts have been pretty good on it. 256 was a big old shakeout. That stop would have taken you out, but 250 worked well. And then you can see here this alert not working so hot. So the momentum's kind of gone on this one for the most part. And we'll see it when it comes back. Next up is Solana, which is the king of coins at the moment. And doing pretty good. Had the shakeout. Didn't do great. There's also coins that did worse, but wasn't a great situation. On the shorter time frame, though, I'm a little bit encouraged by this cute little hammer candle here on the 2-hour time frame. Could be more of a random thing, who knows, but good volume. Look at the relative volume. When you zoom out, it's not very big, compared, but it's also pretty good compared. You don't have too much above it here, at least recently. This could be good for a shorter term bottom, maybe a longer term bottom. This little hammer here didn't have a lot of volume behind it. Here, this one was a full candle. So that's not a bad candle. And you see we are pretty sideways here. Haven't fully broken that. That's also one of the lower candles here. Let's look at RSI. Um, yeah, nothing super here. That would be a divergence, so between these 2 points, and arguably that is a pretty good candle. So maybe that does mean something. We've been unable to go under the 30 level on the RSI, although we could, if you notice this downtrend, the slope of it, and us able to kind of go sideways in the RSI, we could continue with that slope. And I'm giving up this wick to be very aggressive with this trend line. I could do that with it. That would be a little bit more conservative to make Mexican Sergey Lee? You're not Charlie Lee? What happened? Did you get divorced? Oh man, I'm sorry for your loss. But I do want to make him feel comfortable. I don't want to offend Mexican Charlie Lee over there. Um, so we can make this line more conservative. That's funny. That's funny. I made a trend line trading joke with politics. That's professional level right there. You swapped to Link? Is that the Link guy? Sergey? Sergey Lee? Is this Sergey and Charlie Lee, or you just kept the Lee because I don't know, because it sounds better. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. Yeah, Link's. I almost put Link on the newsletter today. We're gonna go through it here in a little bit, but I think Link's in an interesting spot, kind of like Solana, as a matter of fact. Um, but yeah, so I'm a little bit encouraged by this hammer. It's obviously not the best bottom signal of all time, but Solana being the the leading token in crypto essentially, or at least one of them, looks pretty good. Still holds some LTC, yeah. Litecoin's been atrocious, absolutely atrocious. I kind of want it off my list, but it's in the top 20, so I have to have it there. But it's just I actually like Litecoin as a tech. Obviously, it's the faster BTC. It's good stuff, but the market doesn't care about it. Hold on, water break. All right, I'm back. Hopefully my throat works for the next 5 minutes. But yeah, so nice little. These are good places to put stops at if you're looking for something. This one's a little bit low. You have to put your stop at about 5%. That's not super tight, but daily time frame here on on Solana, we have been holding this trend line for quite some time. We may close below the 21-day moving average, which has been holding this run up the whole time. So maybe we'll base here. My alert at 117.30. This is based off this now being a double bottom base, and we'll see if this is the ultimate low and how this transpires. But this can do almost anything from here. It can go a little bit lower, which would take you out of the hammer candle, go all the way down to here, obviously, and still be perfectly healthy. So Solana not doing anything wrong, but not super actionable. But if you do want to do something, that's a good stop. Even like 3, 4, 5 days from now, if we just go sideways here, you know, and don't really pop, that could be a good stop loss right there. Yeah, like when it used to be known as a BTC testnet. Yeah, what do they do now? Do they just? Yeah, I don't know what they do now. All right, let's look at XRP for about 3 seconds. Okay, all right. Bear flagging, hammer candle, nothing good. That's, I think, longer than 3 seconds. I apologize about that. Cardano rolling over, and so this is where we start to see more coins that are not as strong. Cardano with a beautiful run up, kind of gave up mostly everything here, all the way back down to the wick. Nice support candle though, so it could be a low risk ish situation. That's about 5% to the bottom of the big wick down there. So if you want to play here, there's no major buying signatures. You do have the support, so you'd be buying on support. And you could be waiting for a trend line break as well. Just depends how you want to play that, if you play it at all. But Cardano came back pretty good. Came back pretty good with some nice moves, and unfortunately couldn't follow through. AVAX. AVAX over here, chopping lower a little bit. Sup, Luigi? Nice analysis. Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Bought Cardano in August. It went down 35%, but I was patient. Went up 115%. Oh, there you go. You bought it in August? I'm going to go look at that again. Oh, over here. Went down. That's 35%. Oh, you bought it 31. So almost August. Bought it 31, went down, then went up. That's cool. Yeah. So if you notice, I'm not sure if you just randomly found me, Luigi, or if you followed me for a while, but so I do technical analysis here. So looking at this, you can kind of see how I view this, just to give you a little bit, because you bought kind of it at a maybe an inopportune moment, and you didn't manage that very well. You don't want to be down 35%. That's really not ideal. You kind of, like you said, you got lucky, and it is luck, and I'm glad that you see that it's luck. The thing is to turn that luck into some kind of skill. Okay, you need to be able to analyze these things and at least make wise choices, even if you don't know exactly what's going to happen, and none of us ever do. The whole point is just to make as wise a choice as you can, and if you can properly analyze what's happening on these charts, you can really come to some pretty good conclusions, as well as avoid risky situations. Okay, so that's really what all this stuff is about. It's about avoiding risky situations and understanding when the market is changing direction. And then you can get more nuanced than that. But in a nutshell, that's really what you want to do. So, you mentioned buying at about 31, which is here. Okay. So that's not a bad place. Kind of have a little situation here, a bottom, higher lows. You try to break out here. If you bought there, I'm not mad at that. But what you need to do is, when you get in a position like this, you need to start to understand, okay, I bought this. Why did I buy it? Well, odds are you bought it because you think it's going to break out, right? You think you're going to be instantly profitable. That's called a breakout. So as a breakout trader, if that's what you want to be, because trading comes down really to what you want to be, and then how do you achieve that? So if that's what you want to be as a breakout trader, that's kind of what I do. So kind of in the right place. But when it breaks out and comes back down, you have to realize at what point is it not going to follow through. And if it's not going to follow through, then your original trade thesis has been negated. Okay, so you get into something. It's kind of like you meet a girl, and you meet her because she's pretty, and maybe you're a boob guy. She's got big boobs. Then she takes the push-up bra off, and she's got no boobs. So you're like, oh, this ain't gonna work, and you ditch her. That's what you want to do with this. You want to ditch it because it lied to you. Damn it, it lied to you. So tries to break out, fails. You don't hold this down 35%. It's not something you can do. Because what if you made that assertion here up at 41 instead of 31? You know what I mean? Maybe you would have sold down 40, 50, 60%, and that's an account killer, right? So you have to start to understand the dynamics of the price action of the market. You don't have to be an expert, but even some simple basic rules can keep safe in those situations. So a lot of people hate Cardano, so I learned that when it goes up, you need to sell because it goes down pretty hard. Yeah, it's really about it's that dynamic I told you about, just reverse of that. Forget whether people like it or hate it. Okay, everyone's going to have an opinion. None of it matters, to be quite frank with you, at all. So it doesn't matter whether people like it or hate it. You can talk to one guy who's going to hate it and convince you that it's the worst thing in the world. Turn around and talk to the next guy, and he's going to convince you, no, it's the next coming of Ethereum. Like literally, that's what's going to happen if you seek differing opinions. They're all very convincing, and they're all going to have extremely valid points, and they're all going to have, and all those points could be 100% right on both sides. It's just however the person wants to skew that in whatever direction whether they're bullish or bearish. So all you can do is really look at the chart, listen to the charts, and that's all I can do. So that's pretty much what we do. Um, so there you go. But I thought you said you up? I was patient, went up 115 so much. Oh, but you're still holding it. You're still positive 60%. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of part of this is what happens. Um, as you're learning, you're holding assets. And what's going to happen is eventually you're going to make more money. I mean, I think if you do hold it, this market has more legs in it. So you're fortunate in that regard. But when it does come time, to sell, Luigi, you have to be able to sell and you have to know when to sell. And see that's where most people go awry right there. Is most people make a lot of money, don't realize when to sell because they got lucky, and then it goes away. It all evaporates in front of their eyes. And it's demoralizing and you feel stupid and you wish you would have sold at a certain level. So I mean, and that's a long journey. Like it takes a while to kind of learn the ins and outs of these markets, and so each of these levels and stages, right? You've got like so come out of a low, you form what's called a base, you go into another base, and now we're kind of failing this base. We're failing this base. Could be forming something else with Cardano. This horizontal here, that's still pretty valid. So I'm not even mad at Cardano. I'm not telling you to sell, but I'm saying you need to consider and you need to learn about selling signals and stuff. So on 7K USD every month without paying taxes. Okay. Well, I think the key is, Luigi, to just know what you want to do and don't get caught up in the hype. And, if you're up 8,000%, it's not guaranteed that you're going to keep all that. So just, if you want to take money off, that's fine. If you want to take 7K every month off, that's fine. However you want to do that. But just make sure you walk away with some profits, because, this could easily come back down. If the market sells off, it could easily come back down to your almost break even level. So hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will, but anything's possible. 15% of your profit, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right, let's move on to AVAX. We are going to go over some stocks a little bit later too. I have a Nvidia trade I want to explore, so those interested can hang out for that. AVAX. So this thing going down in lower volume isn't such a bad move, but AVAX has kind of been a little bit lackluster lately. No major selling pressure up here. So like I said, I think the market's still in a good spot. We could chop for who knows how long across the entire market, not only AVAX, but we could chop for a period of time. All these charts have come up tremendously, and consolidating for a longer period of time actually be pretty nice. So next up is Dogecoin. Dogecoin over here is lower, and this is not a very healthy looking chart. Dogecoin tried at the 086, really didn't have a good run in it. It wasn't one that we were really focusing on, but just small potatoes. No need to really focus on that one. And we're going to have Tron. Tron's been consolidating now for a while. Had an interesting run up for a long time, supported by the trend line, which is so far holding. We just touched it again and bounced off of it. So that's a little bit encouraging. That could be a stop loss if somebody wants to do that. That's about 2%. That's not bad. That's not too bad. But not sure if we're in the environment where Tron's going to break out. Although I will say this about Tron now that I'm talking about it. All this move early on here, this was kind of surprising. It was really choppy, hard to manage. Most of it sucked, but it just kept chugging higher. And, I don't want to dismiss something that just has this hidden bullishness, which is kind of what Tron has. So if you've been waiting for Tron or considering Tron, maybe, I like little hammer candles. Maybe I wouldn't throw your whole account in this thing, or maybe even a full position size. Maybe go half position size. Or you can wait for a subsequent breakout, which probably would be the more wise thing to do. You can see how vertical that trend line is right there. But if this trend line holds, if we get good in a couple of weeks, maybe we'll pop up pretty good through that 1097. All right, DOT. DOT on the trend line. We'll see if this thing holds. So far, a little bit not encouraging. Got pretty extended here, but coming back down right on the 50-day moving average. It's the first time we've really hit that since we broke out. So we'll see if this gets supported. Support the 50-day would be good. It's a little under the low of the day. You can see on the left pane. So 6818. So that's not bad. We could get support at that 50-day, but the 50-day, we could get supported for weeks and really not go anywhere. It just depends how patient you want to be. I typically don't want to be very patient with my positions. I'd much rather stay in a cash position and watch than try to guess at bottom buying situations. Next up is Chainlink. This is one that's a little bit different. Chainlink, it just was part of market leadership early on and now has been consolidating up here pretty nicely. We have failed to go up a few times. That's a little concerning. Buyers appear to have just stalled for the moment. We did find support a few days ago there, but that injured a lot of people. Probably took out a ton of stops. But if you look at this horizontal right here at the bottom, we're pretty darn close to support. This looks like a little bear flag. Looks like it wants to go down further, but it hasn't yet. So keep an eye. If you like Chainlink and are looking to buy it, this is not a bad spot, but I wouldn't do it here. I'd wait until you have a little bit more time down here before it kind of pulls up. Link can go to 150. 150. I don't think so. I don't. So, okay. I know what Chainlink does. I'm not extraordinarily educated in it though. But here's the problem with Chainlink: is it's not a layer 1. Okay, it's just not, and I could be completely wrong about this. Chainlink being number 14. This, from my understanding, all Chainlink does is provide data to APIs. Why is it worth $7 billion frickin' dollars for that? Makes no sense to me. So, from just like a fundamental valuation perspective, it's a little bit intriguing. Like if you look at the top 20 here, we know about our, what I call them transfer coins. Use transfer coins back and forth. Like Bitcoin's a transfer coin. Just what I call it. Let's just have a better name for it, but I just call it a transfer coin. Then you got layer 1s and stable coins. It's kind of everything that crypto is. And you got layer 2s, but at a top level, those are your things. Bitcoin's your transfer coin, Ethereum's your layer 1s, and then stable coins. And let's go through layer 1, layer 1, layer 1, stable coin, layer 1, layer 1. Useless meme garbage token that's kind of a layer. Well, it is a transfer token actually, but Elon Musk. Polkadot, layer 1. Tron, layer 1. Matic, layer 2 for Ethereum, which is okay because Ethereum's number 2. And so something's got to, the layer 2s are going to get up there. And then you got Chainlink, interoperability between other blockchains. What kind of interoperability? Like a bridge? So the other side to Chainlink too is the community. And from everything that everyone's told me, the community in Chainlink is crazy. Okay, so they do bridging too. Well, bridges aren't the biggest business in the world. Come on. So connecting the world to blockchains. Data streams, data feeds, cross-chain communication, move data and value between existing systems. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that's a good use case for Chainlink actually. A bridge, I'd trust Chainlink as a bridge. So yeah, it looks like they are branching out a little bit here. Automate some stuff. So maybe it's like a layer 2 as well. Maybe it's going to be the toolbox of crypto or something. So anyway, it's always been a little bit crazy how expensive Chainlink was. So let's go full chart here. Let's just chart it. Right? That's all we can do is chart. I like the long consolidation. Someone put a floor in here at $5. I don't know who the hell did it. I think the founders of Chainlink still have, like a ton of influence on the supply unless that's changed. And there was rumors of them manipulating the price on the way up to their benefit and the community's benefit. I mean, it's not just their benefit, but Chainlink is a good. I mean, it is for all intents and purposes a good project. I got nothing against it, but going up to 150 seems crazy. It's only at 13. Thinking like a 10x. Maybe. I mean, maybe. So there's that support. We did hold support down there, which is good. There's the early days. So good volume here. Nice consolidation. I mean, I like the consolidation. I think we need to see what happens up here at the top. At 50. In reality, there's going to be some people that have held Chainlink for a while that are going to want to sell it. It's just the way that the markets work. You know, you get back to a high and some people want to sell. Although this was 2.5 years ago, so there's a possibility that most of those sellers have already sold. That's possible. I don't know. 150 seems outrageous to me, though. It's hard to call a 10x on a token, especially with such high market cap. That's the other thing. So regardless of kind of the general valuation of Chainlink, like if Chainlink 10x's, and what are all these other coins doing? I mean, that'd be a 70 billion market cap Chainlink, which right now would put it at number 4, which is insane. So yeah, I mean, I think getting back to all-time highs could be on the table this time around. I think it's going to blow through that. You know, you're some kind of time series analysis maybe has to come into line here. You know, maybe. And that's if the run-up is as fast. But that's just back to the highs. You want to go past that? That's a lot. I don't know. Now, that being said, I'm not discounting anything. Okay, let's just be... Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Brian. It's a little too unrealistic. When the market gets moving, I do videos now for Altcoin Buzz trading. You guys are familiar with Altcoin Buzz. I do some videos for their trading service, and they wanted me to put targets on and stuff like that. I usually don't do targets, but I was doing targets, and I said, and this was down here. I was talking about, okay, if this market looks like it could go here. I'm like, if it gets to this target and it still is looking good, let it go. Okay, but like you don't have to take that profit immediately because it looks like we could be starting a trend. And when you're starting a trend, you want to go with it. And at that time, I don't want to put a limit on anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to put a limit on anything. So you go with the price action. That's pretty much all you do is you stay with the price action, get the big numbers out of your head, in my opinion, and you just have to follow the price action. Where does the chart lead you? Where do you see the distribution? I think that's the key to everything. I've seen a lot of price targets too low and too high, and yeah, trend is your friend, Brian. Exactly right. I mean, yeah, you just kind of have to take it for what it is. I mean, you know, there's this pi method that I developed that is really good at calling tops, and you know, top up here was like up here at 39.40 or something like that. We did the analysis on this chart, and if I could just draw you it's trend line based, you know, but if I can just draw you the last couple of trend lines here, you know, that gets adjusted to that. Long story short, very long story short, Chainlink has a long history, and then you get that, you know, and then that is your exit signal. So that's all you can do. You really can't do anything other than that. You can just look for exit signals, and that's it. If you stay agnostic to the situation and just kind of follow the trend, that's how you'll do good. So, but if you get 150 stuck in your head and it stalls at 80, it stalls at 40, then you may not want to take that profit, and then you're just missing out. $7 in Link, looking to hold for a year for tax purposes. Oh, I hate tax purpose trading. I just don't even care. Although I'm kind of fortunate. I do most of my trading in my Roth IRA, not for crypto, but I do most of my trading in my Roth IRA, and I don't have to worry about taxes. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I mean, but what's the tax things? 15% versus, I guess it just depends on your tax bracket, right? 15% versus 30%. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. But let's just say it comes up here, and let's go over here. Let's just use this prior top as an example. We just talked about exit signals, that being a potential exit signal right there, or the other one. I've got to draw these again. So let's say your tax bracket, let's say there's a 15% difference in tax bracket. You can call it 30, 35 if you want, whatever. Okay, so let's say that's your exit signal, and let's call that your exit signal. So 15%. There you go. There's your taxes. In like a week, you've lost that tax benefit by ignoring the exit signal. You know what I mean? So again, I would just follow the charts and let the chips fall where they may. Fuck taxes. Who cares? I'd rather make money and pay taxes than be broke and not pay taxes. Those are your choices, basically. So yeah, there's your 15% right there. And then if you fail to do that, you're like, well, I may as well hold or something. If you trade for something other than the chart, you're making a mistake. Point blank and period, in my opinion. Now, if for this kind of trading, there's some people that have other situations going on that maybe aren't purely trading related, but for purely trading decisions, forget about it. I actually banked all my gains from 2023 and saved 30% on the options that I had in my taxable stock account. So like the day before the year ended, at the beginning of the day, I'm just selling because I don't like what the market's doing. The market's pulled back substantially, at least enough for the things I was in. So anyway, all right. But I do like the base and Chainlink. I think when this thing breaks out, it could be good. I'm hoping we get some good solid action. I hope we hold this as the low, and this looks like and you look back on today, you're like, oh yeah, I should have bought down there. Randy talked about a 3.5% stop. So, but that's a possibility. There's no major signals here. We had a hammer in Solana. There's no hammer here. There's nothing here really making you run into this chart. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but there's small divergence in the RSI between these 2 points here too. So it's just an interesting day. Today's one of those interesting days where it could prove to be one of those lows that sticks around for a while. So should be. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. At the same time, you start taking a million shots at lows, you get chopped to death. So that's not a good thing either. That's why I wait. All right, next up is Ton. Hey, what's up, English? Happy New Year, bud. Next up is Ton. Next up is Matic. See what I did there? See what I did there? That was good, right? Matic, this thing's been pretty choppy. Really nothing to do here. I'm going to blow through some of these other ones that just aren't very good. We've spent a lot of time talking about good stuff. Let's not talk about not good stuff. Shiba Swap, kind of garbage. Hasn't done anything really extremely well. Not very trendable. Same with Litecoin. Litecoin has just been an exhibit of failure and disappointment. Really, truly, this has been not fun to watch. I don't enjoy watching Litecoin struggle like this. I don't like it. Bitcoin Cash as well, not doing very good. Struggling all the way around. Atom, struggling. Atom's been struggling. Never really a great trend. The best one was the 7589. That was the best one. Even this one got chopped up. This thing just couldn't get it together. So it's just pretty much been avoiding Atom. ICP has been one of the interesting stars of this whole rally. We followed ICP since like 2 days after it ICO'd at $400 or $600. Now it's at 12, and it's up like 300%. Maybe 400 or 500%. Who knows? What's it? 300%. There you go. Up as much as 400%. This is its rally. So let's see how it's going to do here. Brian. We'll talk in a second, Brian. Yeah, we can talk right now. ICP. But ICP, very interesting. Good, nice tight price action here, similar to Cardano actually, in about the same time frame. Beautiful move up, really got going late, but it held the alert level really well. Tried to break out here, now it's coming back down into it. So we'll see how this goes. I think ICP has more legs left in it. So, but not much to do right now. This is coming back down to support like a lot of things are right now. Actually just bounced off of that level. Wow, okay. That same supportive candle does seem to be across the market. We'll see if it's temporary or not. The bull market seems shaky because it's built on speculation on price. Well, you can argue every single bull market has been speculation on price, Brian, especially in cryptocurrency. That's why we study charts, because there's really not a lot of fundamentals. The fundamentals on crypto are so extraordinarily, it's the fundamentals that are shaky, to be quite frank with you. And at the end of the day, too, the other thing is that everyone here is here to make money, right? That's it. I'm not saying you're doing this, Brian, but it just brings up an interesting point that some people think that they're in crypto for the tech. You are not. You are a greedy son of a bitch like the rest of us. Okay, we're all greedy. We just admit it, and we want to make a profit. So I don't care if the run is built on speculation, is built on a crypto, is built on an ETF, is built on China buying, is built on, I hate to say it, Russia using Monero to buy weapons to kill Ukrainians. I mean, if there's a move there, you can take advantage of it, right? Like, it doesn't matter the motivation. And by the way, if you don't want to buy XMR to make money on Crimea, please don't. But you get my point. That it's the point. The point is that we're all here to make money, and you just go with the signals you're given. You have to be agnostic as to the reasons. That's it. 100%. Agnostic as to the reasons, because it doesn't matter. Because odds are you're not even going to know the reason beforehand, in the middle of it, or afterward. You're never going to know the reason. You can hypothesize, but it's not like you're going to get all the traders in a big room and going, yes, raise of hands for people that bought because of spot Bitcoin ETF. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. What you're going to get is you're never going to get those people in the room. You're going to get some news articles that may be factual, right? Like the whole Mt. Gox selling situation. That seems rational. Why we topped, because Mt. Gox started selling a shitload of Bitcoin. That makes some sense, but that's after the fact. So who cares? Nope, nobody cares. You just got to go with what you see, and that's it. You can call the market shaky on technical grounds too, if you want to call it shaky. Lower volume and stuff like that. But trend is your friend. Stay with the trend. That's all there is to it. Forget the rest. It just takes up too much brain space. I don't have that much of it. Uniswap. This thing kind of sucks too. Came back into the 6614. It's been very choppy. Really nothing to do here. All right, let's wrap up the top 20 USD. And while I'm doing that, guys, smash that like button. Thanks for joining me here today for a public live stream. This is a public live stream of our Power Hour. We do this every Saturday. I guess I should talk about. I never do this, but I should do it, and I need to do it. Those of you that don't know, there's my ugly face. I at real-crypto.com. This is my Power Hour. We put a newsletter out every single day. We do live things on Saturdays, and we have all kinds of different things that we do. What do we do? Daily newsletter, straight to your inbox. Where else would it go? Wouldn't go anywhere else. Saturday live stream, which you're actually part of right now. Answer questions. You guys ask whatever you want, and then I answer them. Alert system. Thanks, Paul. Paul wrote the alert system for us in Slack. Alerts in Slack. We have some custom indicators that we use, like our follow-through day system, which helps time the market, time the BTC cycle, which is helpful. Quick format daily videos. There's the follow-through day system, and there's the Power Hour. So if you're interested, red-crypto.com, click on services, and follow prompts. There you go. But yeah, so wrapping up, I think that we're in an interesting spot. We just kind of have to see. Hey, what's up, Ian? We just kind of have to see what we do here. I do think it's a little too early for us to pop. I mean, we just went through the top 20. You guys, so this is what I do every day. I go through the top 20, and then I go through this list of USD pairs, which has 60 coins in it. We're not doing BTC pairs anymore. And let's just see a red. and we don't flip that on a dime. It usually takes a little bit of time for the market to digest things, and so I think it's going to take a little more time for us to digest. Poly market rates, I can't see it because of stupid heart. 89% ETF approval. Oh, that's cool. I think an ETF would be dope. I mean, people, yeah, it'd be one of the only legal ways to really. Well, I guess you can buy Coinbase, but if you can get, man, you could put I could put BTC in my Roth IRA. That would be ridiculous. Probably buy calls on that bitch too. That'd be awesome. Buy calls on a Bitcoin ETF. That'd be amazing. I'd love it. Um, but yeah, so I think we need a lot more time. I think we're kind of in a filler time right now. We just it's too fresh from this drop really. So I think we're just chilling out. All right, let's take a look at USD pairs. Only found a few. Actually, I found two, and then who wanted to look at Quantum? Is that Mexican or Loopy? Mexican Charlie Lee. Somebody wanted to look at Quantum. Oh yeah, it's Mexican. First thing he said, didn't even say hi. Guy didn't even say hi. Look at this shit. Disrespectful. Disrespectful Mexican. Oh, Sergey Lee. Sorry. You're still Mexican Charlie Lee to me, though. Can you check out Quantum? Not even a hi. I don't even get a hi, man. It's fucked up. my Oh, that reminds me. Yesterday, my kid called me. I go, hello. He goes, can Jonas stay over? I'm like, you don't even start with hi? I'm like, look, when you start a phone call, you say hi. And the other person goes, hi. I'm like, okay, I'm hanging up. Call me back. And so I hung up. He called me back and I said, hi. He goes, hello. I said, how was your day? So you got to teach this. You got to teach these things to people, man. Someday we'll get you there. We'll get you a Mexican shirt. We'll make you a real boy soon. All right. I forgot what I'm doing now. NTRN. That was the first one. There's only two. This thing's been actually pretty darn good. We had this alert level since over here. I was going nice and sideways, and then we had the drop. But look how this thing came back. Came back very, very well. Broke through the alert level. Now it's not rallying higher substantially. I don't even think this is really sustainable, but it was kind of one of the only things that was in any kind of a trend. So I threw it on the newsletter. So if you did buy this, all I would say is just keep inching your stops up. You want to reduce risk in this market environment. And that's one way to do that. If you did buy NTRN, just keep inching higher. I'd rather you bank a profit than miss out on a move. We kind of talked about that before the end of the year. Is like I did in the stock market, like I mentioned a minute ago, exiting positions to bank profits rather than risk losing those profits. And I think that's a wise thing in these environments until we get more bullish and you want to ride that bitch till the freaking wheels fall off. All right, INJ. I put this up here just because I wanted to stay with this token. It's kind of a leading token of this market. It's not doing anything really fancy today, but I do want to keep on top of it. Lowered alert level to 39,927 is the alert level. Trying to stay with the trend. This thing has just been very dynamic this whole time. Super, super dynamic from $1 to 37. Reminds me of crypto of old. And what's its market cap right now? It's getting up there. Number 27. Yeah, so doing good. Holding pretty tight. One of the few that's actually green over this time frame. 7 days. One of the few that's green. So yeah, don't sleep on Injective. We were a little bit late to the party, but yeah, finally started creeping up into our sphere of influence here. So 39,927 is the alert. We'll see if it can get through that. This one also, remember, like we just talked about the BTC holding higher. This one's holding higher. There's quite a bit of buying up here. Can we look at AVAX? Didn't we already look at AVAX? We did look at AVAX. I'll circle back to it for you, Ian. No problem. But Injective here, I like what this is doing. So we just saw a lot of things that did this. Right? Like we're down here. Bitcoin's up here. Solana's not up here, but Injective's up. There's a few things that are up here, and I think it's important to notice that, the bullishness that can come. So, little flag here came straight up, hit the trend line, Yep, hit the trend line. Now we're riding against the trend line. So you start breaking through that trend line, and then Injective has a possibility to do some better things. Maybe it starts running by itself. That's possible. Um, it's a bit of a tough chart. This does make it a little bit wide, but yeah, if it moves, it moves. It's not like a true cup shape. You know, you expect a cup to be like that, kind of rounded. This one pops up in the middle, maybe a little bit of a flaw, but I like the price action on it. Pattern wise, how deep did this get? Wow, that's only 35% for the entire base. That's not bad. This past one was 25%. If we take out that wick, that's probably going to fall in line with that 25%. Yeah, right there, 23%. So good stuff from Injective. I mean, you can't knock on that. So don't sleep on these, even though they're going sideways. Okay, so you want to look at AVAX. We'll circle back to AVAX, and we'll do QNT. I bought through 2023 and got 4 or 5x. Nearly sold the top, but couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, AVAX isn't in a super bad place. Um, I mean, longer term, this trend line actually really needs to hold. So this is getting. Hold on a second, I gotta check this out. Yeah, that's the trend line for this whole thing. So this thing needs to hold on AVAX. I mean, it's possible to adjust it, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do. It should hold though. That trend line should hold. We'll see if it does. I'm using the term should. Oh no, I messed up that wick, so it's got more space. Hard to see. Let me move that. Oh, now I can see it. There we go. I was gonna say the trend line looks in jeopardy. That looks better. There we go. Okay, so that's the trend line. Yeah. All right, that's better. That gives it a little bit more room. That looks safer. That looks more safe. I messed up the wick on that one because I couldn't see it because of the numbers. Yeah, not too bad. So this is the 50-day moving average here in purple. So if that holds, that's good. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. And as you mentioned earlier today, we do see some bottoming candles earlier today. Whether they're going to hold or not is a different issue, but they are around. So we are trying to solidify this a little bit. Hopefully we get that. Hopefully it becomes solid. So taking positions down here is possible. But you're going to have to be very, very patient. These are probably not situations that are going to rally through immediately. Bitcoin may fake up and then come back down, or it could just drop down. It's kind of been hard to know exactly what that's going to do. All right, let's take a look at QNT. What are you doing with quantum here? This really hasn't been on our radar. And no lines on this chart. What are we at now? 120? You talk about going to 100? Oh, 1K. Man, you're hitting those high targets, aren't you? Oh, that's not a bad look. Quantum. Let's double check what this guy does, actually. I think I know what it does, but Chainlink changed a little bit. Maybe Quantum's changed too. It's been a while since I've gone through a lot of these tokens. I hit website and nothing's happening. Okay. Foundation of the blockchain economy. Yeah, Loopy's reminding you to smash the like button. He's my oh, that was earlier. Benefits of unlocking for all. He's reminding me to mention that, which is good. Financials to enterprises, partners, developers, future-proof, interoperability, adoptability. So it's a layer one, so that's good. I like layer ones. Those are at least from what I've seen, some of the most reliable coins to get early are layer ones. Not that this is early for quantum, but you know what I mean. I mean, if it's got enough, if we go parabolic again, I, I guess it's really hard to call something to go up, 8x like that. It is a nice consolidation though. Really nothing too bad. Like look at that 25 cents it was the IPO. Like who called $387 quantum? 3.5 years later. But yeah, I mean anything's possible. I mean technically, I like the breakout. I do like the pullback. That's pretty good. Oh, that's cool. Oh wow, that is cool. But yeah, see, here's the thing with public blockchains though, and XRP kind of went through this too. If you're gonna go to a huge company, or even the Federal Reserve or the CBDCs, they're gonna make their own blockchain. They're not gonna use this. They're gonna roll their own blockchain. I mean, how hard would it be for them just to fork quantum and then roll it on their own servers? You know what I'm saying? So I don't. I mean, just the odds of them using something like this seems extremely low to me, extraordinarily low to me that they would do that. Like almost to the point of nothing. Yeah, not yeah. The investment, the environment. They want control of the servers. They want control of everything. They want to make sure that no one can sit there and fiddle with it. So a bit like I said, a bit like an XRP scenario. You know what happened with XRP? They touted this whole banking blockchain thing, and then what happened is they ended up consulting for companies, and the people ended up getting rich. And XRP's really hasn't done that much. It's had 2 and 3 runs, maybe 4, over its whole time frame. I mean, in reality, if XRP is being used as much as, and I don't keep up with the news, but as much as people say it is, then it should be number one crypto right now, basically. Bank of England testing it out. Okay, that's crazy if they use a publicly available blockchain like this. And I mean, I think I would see more accumulation if that were the case. If governments were going to start using this, why not 20,000? I mean, it may as well be worth as much as BTC if you're going to get the whole world economy on quantum. It doesn't. So I don't know. Is an investment thesis? How do you do that? You know what I mean? How do you manage that? Yeah. Well, BTC was meant to be what BTC is. I don't see any problem with that. I don't, the two worlds are going to coincide: the centralized, the decentralized. Um, the thing is, once something gets popular, the world's going to iterate on it to the point where they make meme coins, and then you build government financial systems. Those are your two. Those are your two. You know, sides of that coin. So yeah. I mean, I do like the pullback on this from a technical perspective. Let's bring some of the secondary indicators back in. Pullback's pretty nice on it. Looks like it does have support underneath where this volume came in, so I like to see that right there. So far we have support down here. I mean, yeah, if you want to fill a bag and then wait for half of the world to, or wait for Great Britain to announce they're going to use quantum, shoot this thing up 1 billion%. Go for it. But again, just risk appropriate position sizes. But I do think if this were a situation where something like that was very likely, you would see astronomical volume on the right side of this chart. Absolutely astronomical. It would look a little bit like pancake swap. It'd look more like this with this crazy, crazy volume right there. Probably twice that, 3, 4 times that. It just they would be just buying as much as fast as they can. So, was there another one? Another token. Oh, OGN. Okay, let me. And then we'll get through these last few that you guys have mentioned. Then we'll go through some stock stuff. A hate boner for quantum. Well, we'll look at the chart. It's flat for the most part. I mean, I guess it did okay. Yeah, I had a lot of hate boners back in the day, more than I do now. A few more opinions. What are we looking at? Oh yeah, OGN. Yeah, Origin Protocol. Is this the NFT one? Gaming and NFTs. Is that what this is? What's your OGN been looking strong for some reason? Not too bad. A little bit too many wicks around. Yeah, we'll look at Coinbase stock when we look at stocks here in a little bit. I missed that whole run, man. To be honest with you, I haven't been as in tune with the stock market. I don't have nearly as much time as I used to. My kids take up so much time, and I gotta shuffle them around. I don't have as much time to look at stocks. Yeah, it is looking pretty good. It's not great. This is a bull market, and so you want to keep that in mind. The question, is when is the right time to buy? That's really the question. This isn't really a great chart. There's nothing, you got a bunch of wicks here, then long areas of consolidation. Like what's this consolidation is garbage. This one's okay, but I wish it would hold higher, which is why it didn't run. You're not seeing the accumulation in this chart. It's just pretty. It's stable. It's not really. It's not really running. No, I don't trade any. No, I don't trade any meme coins. I trade, if anything, top 20. It, it may be other leading tokens. That's it. I don't get hyped up. I've thought about looking into some Solana stuff. Some of those Solana meme tokens I heard have been doing pretty good. Oh, it's green today? Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe if it tries to cross here, it could do something, but it doesn't have a good setup on it. I like to see really good. Like if you look at Solana, I'll show you what I really liked about Solana. Other than the fact, if you guys remember up here, I don't know if it was a public or a public video or a real crypto video, but or a power hour video. But I did talk about um up here. I said let's not forget Solana in the bottoms. You know what I mean? But that withstanding, just look at this chart. Look at this chart. You've got a very deliberate low, huge rally, nice sideways, and then you come down well above the prior high. This just reeks of accumulation. Just absolutely reeks of it. Very pretty solid price action across the board. You got to give a little bit of pass here because there's really no major trend. So I mean, it's not going to look like an exact rectangle, but get the shakeout. You come right. I mean, look at this price action. It's just beautiful. It doesn't go anywhere really. Comes down for one day, puts in the biggest volume candle for months, and then goes right back up. And then you get this nice. This is where we started getting interested in this thing. This nice declining channel, and that's where you start seeing us throw alerts. And so that's what I like to see. I mean, coming off of lows like this, and keep in mind this was December of last year. This is over a year ago. So we look at like an OGN. Like it's just not doing those things. It's not. There's nothing behind this. It's just a bunch of hypey stuff. I'd much rather trade in. See, the coins or stocks that look the best tend to trade the best, and you can make enough money focusing on the best trading assets. Because what do you get when you get an asset that trades well? You get stability. You get not shaken out. You know what I mean? You don't get 47 stop losses in a row because you're trying to buy a bottom on some shit coin. It saves your account. It's a lot more mentally. It's less mentally taxing. I was going to say more mentally stable, but it's less mentally taxing. You get less wicks. I mean, yeah. Brian said, as I was saying, it less scam wicks. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. You're gonna get some of those, but that's cost of doing business. But when you look at a Solana, if you look at the scam wicks on Solana, they're all buyable because they want this thing. You got 3 wicks down here. You got this last wick here a few days ago that hopefully holds up, right? Look how stable this chart is. Even when it goes up here and prints like an interim topping candle, look what it does. It just comes right back, really tight price action. It just behaves really well. This is much easier to make. So let's say this goes up 300%. and then there's the other meme coins that go up 1,000%. Well, guess what? I'm gonna take 250% out of this. Were those thousands? I I don't know. I may not even see them, first of all. And then second of all, maybe I trade them poorly. Maybe they have a bunch of scam wicks like Brian was talking about. Maybe you don't sell at the top at the right time because you're getting greedy because it's all happening too fast. But these leading coins, these lead the trend, make the trend. The trend's usually more stable with them, so they're just easier to deal with. It's kind of like, managing an adult versus managing a 18-year-old at a business. You know what I mean? What's your? I can't see your 75. Okay, 75 are likely, but 80 maybe 75, 80. Yeah, we got a pivot point here at 78, 17. Um, all in all, it's great. What else did we have? Jeez, it always keeps that stupid heart on my last comment. It's freaking garbage. Not an XRP fan, but the accumulation pattern pointing to big short-term lift pump treacherous though. Yeah, see, XRP falls in doesn't it's not a shitcoin obviously, but it falls into that category of what am I doing with this? What do you hope to get out of this? As a trader, as a trader. If you like XRP and you want to hold XRP for 17 years, that's your prerogative. But as a trader, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with this? Like what? There's no uptrend. It's like a very slow, gradual uptrend, which is fine if you're holding for 17 years. But if you're trading for pops and breakouts, it's not a thing. All right, so we had OGN, we had QNT, SEI. So SEI, yeah, we've kind of been on top of SEI. Oh, it's in the other list. SEI's been pretty darn good. So I didn't have an alert on it. We caught it here, I think after it broke out, which is why no alert. But it's been in a good trend, and so this trend line looks broken. Hopefully, it's going to stabilize. Okay, lower volume pullback here. We do have this trend line, which isn't anchored. Why aren't you anchored? Yeah, so this trend line is under adjustment right now. So, okay. Moving averages. Here's the 21 day. Here's the 10 day in blue that is just coming through. I guess loose support right now. 21 day, 50 day. This is in a good trend. Yeah. Yeah, very good. No real selling signals up here. So I think, and SEI is an ICO here. It's in highs. So I think this is going to go. There's a few that are in highs like this that are just going to go. SEI, I can't think of there's at least one other one. I can't think of it off the top of my head. All right, let's take a look at some stock stuff. All right, let's look at some stock stuff. Um, you guys can bring up crypto stuff if you want to, but I subscribe to Investors Business Daily, and let me pull that up. Where is it? Where is it? Is it in here? It's right here. Okay, here we go. So, I've been all over Nvidia. I do believe that this is the next great company to, which is already in the middle of doing some of the most amazing things as a business. Um, Absolutely, absolutely tremendous here. So it's adjusting its trend line too. You have to adjust it along with it until it breaks out. Then it's solidified. But I do think that when this thing breaks out, it'll have a fairly quick run to 600, give or take. And then I find this article in IBD. Um, I don't know if I can post a link. I actually have to take a little break. If you guys want to go to that article, if you're interested, um, I want to talk about this trade. So let's discuss it. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Jeopardy music. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I was thinking about it. Nvidia I had an Nvidia options trade lined up. I don't think I have it written down anywhere actually, but so Nvidia to 600 relatively quick. The question, especially because I do options with this, and if you guys don't trade options, this is just kind of for educational purposes because options are incredibly risky. The way that an option works is that I buy this contract called an option. It has an expiration date, right? And the closer we get to that expiration date, the less that contract is worth. So I'll show you guys here an example of that. So this is the Nvidia one I've been looking at. So this contract for $500 is 5,560 bucks. Go to live settings. I can do that. Oh, where is it? Live settings. Go live settings. Go live. Oh, but I'm in a stream, so I don't know if I can do that in the middle of the stream. Go live. I'll have to check that out afterwards. Um, but it's horribly annoying because it always misses me. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, Loopy, appreciate that. So 500, 5560 for a hunt. This is how many days are in the contract. 167 days. So 167 days. Oh, I already forgot what it was. 500 is 5560. So 5560 versus go to 13 days. 500 is 780. So huge difference. You basically pay per day is kind of what it is. So if I will lose that 5560, if it goes nowhere, if it just goes sideways until 13 days to expiration, it'll be worth this much. It'll be worth 780, that same contract. So time in here is crucial. Why did my chart go away? Oh, because I was in trading view. That's why it looks different. Yeah, so timing here is crucial, absolutely crucial. If you can buy it at the right time, these things can really carry tremendous value because what you're doing when you're trading options is like I just showed you here. Um, I'm buying each share here for $7.80. This is almost a $500 asset. I'm buying for $7.80, and so this will start to make me a dollar for every dollar it goes up. Once it reaches a certain price threshold. So if this thing gets to 550, this option will be worth $50. If so I paid 780, it goes to $50. That's a Excellent, excellent profit. So you're looking at a stock like Nvidia, which is a generational stock and is the leading stock right now. I think a move to 600 here is inevitable. So the question is, how do you trade that? How much time do you give it? So that's what I use these trend lines for, actually, is they give me some indication of where it could go and by when. But if we do go in monster moves, what I've noticed, and I don't have a great way to figure this out yet, actually, is the heck, discard changes. Yes, discard changes. Go live settings, live reaction settings. Yeah, but I'm not in my YouTube. I'm in my YouTube studio right now, so I don't know if I can change those. I'll get this thought out here, Loopy, and then maybe we'll poke with that. So, but these things can rally. So here's the trend line. Here's the trend line I was just referring to, and then here's that extension. So it just depends how aggressive you want to be, because if you look at this trend, and you draw some other trend lines on here, but this trend line just kept evolving, the ever evolving trend line here. Just gonna have to keep going, but when it rallies up, it can do so dramatically. And so if we're in a rally situation, you're hoping that it moves up at a better pace than the trend line. So while this one takes us out to March to 650, basically March or April. If you think it's going to go sooner, you could go to this February one. So let's assume it's going to break out right now. We can kind of take a look at that. Let's say we assume this is what it's going to do. That's February 2nd. So we can go over here, look at February 2nd, which you actually have actual February 2nd, which is interesting. But you don't want to go to the actual date. You do want to give it more time. And so that's 27 days out, 34 days out. That's not very much more time. We'll go 41 days out. And then here's where you can kind of plan your trade about which one of these you want to buy. And I think, so we got 650, just call it 650 for round numbers. So that means 500, this would be worth $150 from 19. That's pretty good. It's like an 8x. So, but that's just an example. You know what I mean? That's just an example. You have to get really lucky. Either be excellent with this market timing aspect or just get extraordinarily lucky and to get an 8x like that. And it can happen, but it's a little bit infrequent. Because the thing is, when this thing starts to break out, this will go to 2025 pretty quick, and then your 25 to 150 is obviously less. It's like 6. So you go from an 8x to a 6x pretty quick, which is still fine. I mean, I'm not gonna laugh at either of those. So anyway, IBD had this thing about an advanced option, which I don't usually do. I don't usually do these types of options, but this is IBD based strategy, and this is the trade. What you do is you buy some calls, and then you sell some calls, and you buy some more calls. So the total of all this work is you paying $4.65. Now this is going out to June 21st, so you actually have quite a bit of time. June 21st puts us 167 days out. That's quite a bit of time for this to go to 600. Quite a bit of time. So that's way the frick out here. Which is, I mean, I'm not mad at it. And she says this has a 500% return. So I kind of wanted to explore this because I don't do the whole, I usually just buy the option. I don't buy one option and sell another option, let alone buy a third option along. So this is apparently a standard thing called a butterfly spread. You buy, sell, buy. So we're buying the 500, selling the 550, and buying the 610. So the reason why this makes you quite a bit of money is the 610 here. So actually, as you go past 550, you start actually kind of losing money on this 550, but you're making a bunch of money from the 500, and you're making more percentage-wise from the 610 is the general is the general thesis behind these. And so this is supposed to give us, this is supposed to tell us some information. Now this I'm not super up on. I know that this is the price, and so 14%. I want to figure out how she gets to 500%. What she says here, in this trade, total debit comes out to 420. Mine says 465. Of course, it changes minute by minute. The break-even cost for Nvidia is 504.20, or for me, 504.65. So that's the break-even price, which that makes sense. Or the price of the first long option strike plus the cost of the option. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. The ideal event for the strategy, the stock moves at or slightly over the price of the middle strike, which I'm assuming is this 550. She doesn't say 550. She should say that. But that's the middle strike. Around 10 to 15 days before options expiration. Oh, the reason she says that is because this will, because you sold this, that means you, so this is 30, that's volume. Where's the price? Symbol expiration. Oh, it doesn't give me the individual price. Anyway, so whatever this individual price is here for the 550, it'll actually get less, it'll get less expensive. So if it goes up to 550, goes up towards here and then goes sideways for, well, that 550 will actually decrease in price, just like we talked about early on with how many days are here, right? But because we sold that, we'll be taking advantage of that, capturing that. That is called decay, that decline in value. And then if we keep rallying, that 610 from down here at 500 will be worth quite a bit. So I guess this is a way to kind of capture that, limit the amount of capital you have to outlay, and get apparently about 500% if it gets to 550. So let's see if I can initiate a price for this whole thing. I want to find a way to put the probability mode out in the money. Touching. I don't even know what the hell that means. %. The heck is going on here? 23rd, March 2nd. So these are the probabilities of it getting above 562. I wonder why it shows 562. Maybe that's the max profit line for this thing, is 562. That's what she said, just above the middle 550. So this is a pretty sophisticated strategy here, actually. I'm not sure how she's got to have some kind of option simulator, obviously, that I don't have here. This is a pretty good option simulator, but what's price slices? Hold on a sec. All right. Sorry, wife walked in the room here. Okay, so yeah, that's. I was hoping to find something. I was hoping to like simulate a price and it show me some information, but I'm not sure. Okay. Maybe this is the screen I'm looking for. Maybe I was on the wrong screen. Risk profile. So there's the 504. Okay, so there's the break-even point. And so this, I think this thinks, okay, see that this is better. This is what we wanted. The other one was probabilities. Oh, risk. I'm an idiot. Okay. So 100, what's this 100%? Oh, okay, here's my prices. Now I see what's going on. So, yeah, peak is 550. Yeah, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Almost 500% if it gets to 550. Gotcha. That's crazy. And then I can adjust these. So let's say I got rid of these. So as I get rid of these, because these are the ones that I sold. So at 550, these will begin to lose me more money than the other ones will begin to gain. Okay, so if I go 10, 10, 10, my max profit is capped here at that 550. If I go less, if I sell less, then it'll just keep going up. It'll just keep going up in perpetuity, right? But I guess she's selling 20 to kind of cover the. Oops, that's buying 20. Oh, my bad. I need to go negative 20. The way this counter thing works is weird. Can I sell more? I'm just going to sell more. I want to sell 100 of these. No, that's not a thing, I don't think. So, okay, so that's the strategy. So you're basically getting, it's kind of a straight up shot here. You just get more profit, more profit, more profit in a 500% trade. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I need to read up on stuff like this. I do options, but I don't do a lot of this. This could be advantageous. I wonder if it would. The thing is, I don't know if it would make me more patient or not. That's the other thing. That's the thing, because you get something like the Nvidia here. And let's say this does go to 6. You know what I mean? Say it does go to 6. Maybe 550 is only a 10% rise from me. That seems to me to be very likely that we'll rally at a minimum 10%. So that seems like a pretty darn easy trade. Maybe that's good. So we another thing we can do here too is adjust these strike prices. I guess we could be more aggressive if we want to be. We could like sell the 575. I mean, a number of ways you could do this. And I'll probably still keep the 610. But look at that. That gets you. So that's 600 or 700%. This thing just kind of keeps going forever. Oh, there we go. Peak at 5.7. Yeah, so we peak basically where that call starts to get hit, where you sell the call. Okay, that's where it peaks. Gotcha. So yeah, we're never quite gonna get to 610 because we have this cap on this 575, and I guess this limits your risk because of this the amount you're selling. Okay, so the only problem, and I've this is my problem with doing stuff like this. Let's just say I buy this 500 call. So let's what June 21 500 call. Let's take this back to 550 to keep this kosher with what was set up. So let's say I just buy the 500 call. If I go to 500 call and it goes to 550, that'd be worth $50. So let's see what that looks like. 500 calls, 55.60. Wow, that's a non-starter. That's crazy. So I do that, then I sell I sell 20 of these, and then I buy the 610s. Oh, okay. That's for $20. That's crazy. I have some learning to do, ladies and gentlemen. I have some learning to do because this does not look like a doable trade. This would not fly in my book. For my $600 target, this would get me not quite 100%. So I couldn't trade this. But if I do this, and that makes it. If it gets to 550, I make 500%. That is monster. No way. Because the thing is, even though I sold this gets more expensive. This also gets. You know what? Maybe I need to bite the bullet and call my broker and have him explain this shit to me because I'm a little bit. Yeah, interesting. 500%. Okay, so that's intriguing because this 610 is going to get uh, worth quite a bit. So the 610 here is 1940. If it gets to 550, we go down $50, and this gets 3180. So this kind of is almost like gets 75% or 75% more. This goes up in value. That goes up in value. This goes up in value, which makes me lose money. But I guess the balance of it is it evens out. Analyze. So okay, there's the Nvidia trade. That's pretty interesting. Let's go through some other stock stuff. Um, anyone follow me at all on that? That was kind of in the weeds for probably some people that don't do options, let alone do stocks at all. Let's go through the indices and stuff. So we have had a pullback since the new year. Friday closed pretty good though. This S&P closes a downright doji. Look at that. So we may have found an interim low here in the markets. Um, I do feel like there's a good possibility now to maybe jump back in with some positions. We haven't sold off in mass, but the doji is a little bit encouraging. I do like dojis in these situations. The question is, how do we handle the next couple of days? We could keep selling off. And it's been a decent sell off. The volume in the futures here aren't too low. They're also not too high. So ES, you also have uh, a, a a doji right here on good volume on a Friday, first Friday of the year. Maybe that I don't think that means anything necessarily. Like there's a triple witching Friday, but I think that's the big thing. The Russell 2000. This is supposed to be the second coming because these are really undervalued right now. But as you can see, the whole block of red to start the year doesn't quite have the doji look to it. So not a great look there. Transportation index managing to do okay. Apple's been not very good at all. Look at that coming all the way back to the 200-day moving average. So Apple's a little bit scary for people thinking the market's going to continue rallying. You do not want Apple to be doing this. But maybe Nvidia is going to be the one that pulls the rest of the market up. Who knows? Um, but regardless, trading Nvidia as a name on a breakout does make sense, regardless of what Apple's doing, to be quite frank with you. Because Nvidia right now, I think is 1 point something trillion in market cap. Obviously, Apple leads that race, and a lot of indexes are weighted by market cap. But Nvidia right here at 1.2, Apple not super far from it, and Microsoft holding up really well too at 2.7. I'm shocked they haven't flipped yet. Actually, I think this flip's going to happen soon. And Microsoft will be the world's biggest company again. Then Bill Gates will look like an idiot for going with Berkshire Hathaway. It's like, so here's actually a good example of don't listen to people. Bill Gates, one of the most profitable, best companies in history, and is going to go through a second rally here with AI, and he got rid of it for Berkshire. Don't listen to your friends. It's hilarious. I saw some posts here. They said if he kept his original shares from the 80s, which he wasn't going to do, but if he did, he'd be worth like $500 billion right now. It's absolutely insane. But Microsoft's in a good spot. I don't do a lot of Microsoft stuff, but they're looking pretty good. But Microsoft stays stable. Nvidia does good. That could pull these indexes and keep them stable, even as Apple does whatever the hell it's doing. So, but Nvidia's in a good spot. All these chips are looking pretty decent. AMD with a pullback to the 21 day. Not too bad. Not too good either. Hopefully, we'll stay stable here. Definitely playing with some trend lines, although not in a bad way. You got the 10 coming into the 21-day moving average. That's not so bad. So far, we have respected the 21-day moving average on AMD. Your stop point right now would be under that close on this day, which is 133.74. ARM, ARM pulling in after recent high breakout on low volume. So I know that's another chip. Let's take a look at Microsoft, speaking of which. So there's your breakout on Microsoft. It has been a little bit stagnant here, although we're not really selling away. We're not breaking any levels. 50 days right here. If we stabilize out of here, Microsoft could do some interesting things. Amazon on the 21 day. Oh, it's 50 day. Purple's 50 day. On the 50 day. Trying to make its way back up. So you can see, I mean, there's some stability here, but there's also not extreme certainty. The only, I mean, Nvidia, like I mentioned earlier about trading the biggest and the best because they're the most stable. Like I would be nervous taking this trade, but I wouldn't be losing sleep over it because the odds of this thing just rolling over are very slim. So, and the price action getting tighter and tighter. Double bottom base here, cup and handle here now. I think this may even. Let's go to the weekly. Actually, I have the weekly right here. I don't need to change it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a full blown cup and handle now. Even although technically it's not because it's not 33% deep, but the pattern itself. So here's your double bottom base. I guess we'll go back to trading view. I can draw better. Oh well. So here's your double bottom base. You make a W with a lower right hand low. Okay. This horizontal line is your buy point, which we're actually still above. And then you have this cup and handle. So there's your rally, there's your cup, there's your handle. Even though it's not a true cup and handle, it would be considered I still think it's a base on base pattern. Those of you that remember me talking about this, it's what's called a base on base, and very explosive patterns. I don't know. I'm half tempted to just freaking bet the whole farm on this stupid thing. It's just it's so crazy. If this is gonna go, it's gonna go. And the thing is, if something like this goes with this market cap, 1 point whatever trillion dollars, $1.2 trillion, the institutions have to be in on it. And if they're deploying capital, I mean, they're really going to want to deploy capital here. So this could have this explosive move up to 600. It's such a good thing. So the base on base signature, maybe a little hard for you to see here. Let me just Google it. Base on base pattern. So here's a base on base. Is that the only one they're going to give us? Yeah. So what happens is it's two bases on top of each other. The one base breaks out, but it doesn't go up 20%. If a stock climbs more than 20% from its buy point before it starts forming the second base, consider the two patterns separate, not a single base on base. So that's the difference. The two bases can be any proper type: cup and handle, flat base, double bottom, cup with handle. Usually the second pattern is a flat base. And a flat base is actually, even though that looks like a cup and handle, a flat base is under 15%. So after a prior advance, the stock declines a modest amount, no more than 15%. Okay. But a cup and handle, it does look like a cup and handle. But a cup and handle has a maximum of 33%. If it's under 15%, it's considered a flat base. I hope that makes sense. So 30% uptrend, minimum 20% increase. And this talks about the handle, 8 to 12%. So I guess there's the cup. Anyway, if it's under 15%, technically it's a flat base. So this technically is a flat base, even though it looks like a cup and handle. It's only 11% deep. So, because here's your breakout point, right? And then you start forming another base. So you only break out 6%, then you form another base. Base on base. It's two accumulation patterns. And in crypto land, we talked about this a few weeks ago. I don't know if we may have been live at that time. Cardano had a base on base. It's hard to see on crypto, but it's this one. It's these two right here. They're very small, but it's right there. I'll show you. Because you're being nice and hanging out, I'll show you. You see it? It's a little more clear, isn't it? So there's one base, there's the other base. So that's at least what I consider it. I mean, if you don't consider the wicks, I guess it's still a base on base. 18%. I win. So, but I think that was a base on base pattern, and it led to tremendous stuff there. So this being a huge market cap stock, I mean, keep in mind a move to 600 seems like a lot, but it's 20%. It's only 20%. Stocks move in percentages. Well, technically they do also move in dollars. They basically move in percentages. You have to think in percentages. You can't think in dollars because $100 seems like a lot, but it's really not. It's in line with this move here is in line with everything that's ever been taught about stuff with Investors Business Daily. Like ever. So base on base pattern, 20% breakout seems extraordinarily rational to me. Okay, so let's read the rest of this because let's see. The two bases can be any proper type, cup and handle. The second base should not encroach much into the price level of the first base. Any base that sinks much into the first base is not a proper base on base formation. Proper buy point is determined by the second base. When counting bases, a base and base is counting as a single stage. So that's fine. So let's see if this does encroach too far. Encroach. So here's our buy point. It does encroach a little bit here. 50%. So let's see. That's flat base. Cup and handle. Proper base on base formation. Hey, what's up, Farhan? Got yourself a new icon there. That's cool. And it doesn't. I want to see what it talks about that encroaching part. I'm going to speed read here for a second. Yeah, you can go through the front. Yeah, we're kind of. I don't want to say finishing up here, but we're probably finishing up here in a little bit. Going through this base on base. The new base low can slip into the prior base, but ideally not by much. So this could be considered a little bit much. Percentage-wise, it won't be too bad. It's probably like 6%. Yeah, almost 6%. So it's like 50%. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe that's a bit of a flaw. That's possible, but we do have this lid at 500, which is now 505, I believe, is the buy point. But we do have this lid on top. So could be a flaw. Definitely is possible. Still think it's a base on base. I think IBD calls it a base on base. Let's look at. So we'll look at the EIBD. I'll check it out real quick and then we'll bounce. Man, last time I rendered this, it took like 15 minutes. I'll just scroll down to try to find it. I get to the IBD 50. Last time I think Nvidia was like number 3 or 4. Number 2 forms flat base with 505.48. So they don't call it a base on base. They just call it a flat base entry. They did have it as a double bottom, but now they're calling it a flat base, which is fine. It's still an entry point. So I guess we'll let history decide whether it's a flat base or not, or a base on base pattern or not. But they don't really talk about base on base. Let me see if I can just search for base on base, see if that yields anything. Novo stock broke out of a base on base. Oh, that's good. I got to write that one down. What's that one? Novo. Novo. Okay. Where does it say Novo? Looking for Novo. We're on the hunt here, ladies and gentlemen. This is hunting. Novo Nordisk. I'm just gonna. Yeah, they got that weight loss drug, I guess. That's cool. That it? Okay, just a base on base. Let's take a look at that one. Novo Nordisk. It is NVO. Now, where's the base on base here? One is weekly. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Anyway, won't spend too much time on it. It's in a beautiful uptrend, though. Look at this thing. Dang. 12 cents and, oh, geez, 1984. Wow. Okay. It's gone. Really gone. All right. Let's bounce out of here, guys. Um, okay, so looked at Nvidia. I think the stock market generally is it could stabilize out here. You know, it's fully possible. I'm not really mad at it. Nvidia did have a good day on Friday, 2.29%. Look at the volume on Friday. So they took a little bit off the table, not too much. This thing is just doing so good. Looks like we got some RSI trend lines here. We did find support on that lower trend line, and we're right at the 50 level, so we definitely could go for another run. Everything's in kind of a neutral territory right now. So I think Nvidia is a huge possibility. I need to fully line up my trade. I'll probably post it in the Slack chat room for those of you in the Power Hour if you're interested in something like that. What I finally decide to do, I don't know yet. Not sure. I'll probably do a combination of things. Maybe take some longer terms stuff, but if the shorter term gets you the same profit, then I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, have a great day out there. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.